So, hello everyone. Let's wait for 2 minutes, I think, for others to join, and then we can start a presentation. Okay, so we are precisely on time. So once again, hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's presentation about first-line workers. I believe and I guess that this is the first time when we as ALSA team present this topic, so I hope that this will be helpful for you. My name is Deimantė Leščinskaitė, and I'm a Microsoft Cloud Business Coordinator for Baltics at ALSA Group. And today I'm going to briefly talk about what are first-line workers, how Microsoft excluded plans for this workforce could help, and will overview plans and pricing. So let's start from the very beginning and try to define what are those mystic first-line workers could be. I think that you will be surprised, but those workers are all around us. Warehouse workers, drivers in logistic companies, surgeons, nurses, construction workers, and everything that you could possibly not imagine that could benefit from such technologies. Basically, all the employees that we are considering them as the backbone of our company are first-line workers. Usually they define the customer experience. Let's set an example. People who delivers your parcels to your home or to self-service parcel terminals. They're the face of the company because your customers are dependent on their productivity. So those are the first-line workers. I think that this is a very basic explanation, but it wraps all up and just brings an understanding what are those workers and how we can help them to work with such technologies. Okay, we explained that. What is the value for your business? I think that often first-line workers are forgotten by company and excluded from fast and productive communication with their teammates. With F plans, you can boost your customers' business by improving productivity and engagement by connecting employees with the tools they need to do their best work. A good example here could be, once again, delivery workers. They can simply use apps created with Power Apps and mark delivery status, or employees in the warehouse can just simply track inventory on their phones without any need to go to the computer. So it sets a bit more freedom for those workers who usually do their work not with the computer, but they are going like everywhere, driving trucks and so on. Moreover, your customers can cut costs and basically save time by automating tasks and service processes with the custom apps, as it was mentioned before. So the Power Apps could be the tool that you and your customer uses like on the daily basis. So basically, you can like if company is already using the cloud services such as Microsoft 365 or Office 365, there could be a quick onboard for those who are new to the service because of already existing competence center inside the company. If there is like a specific need to use industry specific devices, like for example, for architects or construction workers, these plans are fully compatible. And for sure, last but definitely not least, you can safeguard your customer's business with built-in security and compliance features. So you can see in the presentation, let's say numbers. Those numbers define basically how Microsoft sees the workers who use and do not use such apps. So basically, the productivity of first-line workers who started to use those applications that is included in those Microsoft F plans increased by 122%. So it's a major number actually in a daily work. So we have to try understand on how those F plans can be like brought into your consideration for, let's say, suggesting your customers starting at least use and see the free trial of those licenses and start to understand how those tools could help those first-line workers with their everyday work. Okay, in the manufacturing sector, like first-line workers are what one IT leader called the deskless people. So basically they have only their tools to do like everyday work, and they do not have like a proper set table with a desktop monitor or a laptop. That group includes the salespeople who deal directly with the customer, the employees operating machinery, making products, and keeping the processes running on the factory floor, and technicians out in the field servicing the manufacturer's equipment at the customer site. Like traditionally, their work has been based on job experience and gut. Today, what you're starting to see is an evolution like toward using more data and IT for frontline workers, so those first-line workers, which might mean they have a tablet that tells them information related to the machine they're operating, so they can make decisions based on key data points. So this is the real value of starting using such services. There is no money talks in this case. However, it's an evolution, and that's going slowly because, like, frankly, the old way was not necessarily broken. I mean, you want to use, let's say, Excel files, you go to your computer that is set in the warehouse that is being used for, I don't know, 10 people who works like in a warehouse, who needs to fill the inventory files, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's actually hard to figure out a value proposition to the investment in the technology and the data for those workers. I think the answer is that you can make something more efficiently and with better quality by using this data if you use it correctly. So one more time, this shows that you have to start showing the value. I mean, you have to set the demo environments for your customers and just try to show them how it could change like everyday productivity for those workers who like previously didn't have any technology like installed in their day-to-day devices that they are using. So as you can see, the real value is not measured by money, and it is measured with effective work. So basically you have to try if you want to see. So let's take a look what Microsoft is suggesting for first-line workers. So we go to the plans and pricing. And here we have the three options suggested by Microsoft to our first-line workers. We see that there is Office 365 and Microsoft 365, but what is the main difference? So very simple. Office 365 does not have built-in extended security and compliance features. With the Office 365 F3 plan, we have tools for daily use, such Office Online apps, Outlook web application, Microsoft Teams that could be used as walkie-talkie for our first-line employees. So basically, if you are a construction worker, for example, you can use Teams and replace those expensive walkie-talkies that you're buying just to contact your, let's say, colleague that is in the third floor and you are in the basement, for example. Also, we have a OneDrive for Business and SharePoint Online Services that has 2 gigabytes data storage. And it's important to understand that first-line workers does not need a lot of storage space because they are not administration workers. So this should be set and used like in the further presentations for your customers. So they only need to reach the most important data that is shared by management with them, for example, inventory files. Also, a good addition that you can get Microsoft Planner as a job management tool and replace those expensive job management tools that is like not cost effective. So basically, if you need only to set deadlines or just to track how each employee does their job, you can try just to look for the Microsoft Planner as a tool, and also Microsoft Power Apps that lets your customers, employees use no-code or low-code applications for more efficient work with no-brainer. So basically, if you like previously did like holiday planning in the Excel files, or you needed to make a Word file, to print it out, to sign it off, you can replace it like simple by creating with a low-code like a low-code application with Microsoft Apps, and just to use it in your mobile phone or any device that you have like for day-to-day work, and just assign it like in a one click. So that's actually makes a day a bit shorter for you, and you have no like additional brainer to think about how I have to bring this Word file, like a printout Word file to my management. Especially in this COVID situation when most of employees does their work like remotely in their home offices, or even in another country. So let's move, and with Microsoft 365 F1 plan, we have additional security features such as advanced threat analytics that lets your customer company look after their important data not to be leaked. So basically these two plans, like Office 365 F3 plan and Microsoft 365 F1 plan, completes like each other. The price difference we will see like after all the we all review all the plans. So the price difference it's not a big, but with the F1 plan you can get a bit more like security features than you can get with the Office 365, the same F3 plan. And then we have like Microsoft 365 F3 plan that includes basically everything that was included in Office 365 and M365 plans. It's basically how I like to call a Bugatti of Firstline plans. So here we have in addition Windows Hello, Windows Server, remote services calls included that helps your customer to feel here a money value, because they no longer need to buy expensive OLP client access licenses in addition. And it's important also to understand that these cloud services give your customers company a flexibility to discontinue using services anytime and not to have like additional cost. So if you are already using our also cloud marketplace, you can easily set up the licenses for the end customer. So basically you buy a monthly subscription. Your employee is no longer working like in your company. You can discontinue license by any time. So you can get like a cost-effective invoice by counting the price of the license not every month, but by day. So you pay only for this period of time when you're using the license, and yeah, that's cost effective. So it's really important to explain for the end customer this value of the cloud services. So for example, if you need to buy, let's say, calls once again, you buy it as perpetual media. So it means that if employee left company, you still have left with unused licenses. So it's very common problem actually in more or less all companies across the Baltics. So it's a common problem, and often we get like inquires on how to use those licenses. We don't need them. Can we return them to Microsoft? And so the short answer is no. If you bought those perpetual licenses, you can just resell it to another company, but it's a very long way to do that, because it's a process and it could take like a month, 2, or even longer to process this like action. And in addition, with this plan, also you can get very similar security level with what is included in the Microsoft 365 Business Premium plan. And the only difference basically is in data storage and price at this point. So if you were listening my colleague's presentation about security, like previously on the day, so he presented all the features, the key features about Microsoft 365 Business Premium. So it's easy to compare those plans and to see the real deal and let's say game changer at this point. Okay, and now is the time to take a closer look at the pricing. So as you can see, those prices are provided by Microsoft. So as also partner, you get like a completely different pricing. So if you need any prices for particular plans, you just can contact us by email or just call us, and we can set the pricing for you too. So basically, as you see, the entry level SKU Microsoft 365 F1 costs $4 per user per month. So it's like the same price for as for Office 365 F3 plan. And with this F1 plan, you get extended security features that Office 365 F3 plan does not have. Also, you have to like compare the features that your like first-line workers really need, because one plan does not have like OneDrive storage, email storage, and you can just use like online those web applications, let's say. And what we have talked just recently about Microsoft 365 F3 plan. So you can see that it costs like close to $10 per user per month, but you can get everything that is included in both previously mentioned plans. So basically, if you need security, you have Enterprise Mobility Suite E3 plan. Usually this plan goes as a standalone SKU. So it costs around, if I remember correctly, $6 or close to €6. So also with this plan, you can get Windows operation system, so Windows 10 Enterprise plan. So also Windows Virtual Desktop rights. Also, if you've been in the presentation that my colleague recently talked about Windows Virtual Desktop, you can easily set up those rights with a Windows Virtual Desktop environment, and you don't need to buy like additional licenses for it. Only set up Windows Virtual Desktop environment. Also, Teams, that is very important nowadays. I think that all of us uses Teams like as a main tool to connect like with the colleagues, with the external users, with the contractors, partners, and etc. etc. You can name it by yourselves. Also, SharePoint, it's a very good tool if you want to share important data that needs to be protected by any time inside your company, or if you need to share like easily files or any information outside your organization, but you are afraid that you can lose like important data of your company. You can protect files in SharePoint and share those files outside your organization, and not to be afraid about the losses. So basically, those first-line workers can also read those files. They can edit them. So for example, as I mentioned, inventory files for the warehouse employees, so they can easily read the file, make some changes, and just turn it off, because it saves like documents automatically. And those workers has it, as I mentioned, 2 GB storage. So it's more than enough for those who only needs to operate with a small data. So yeah, and the planner, so management tool for planning activities, and the planner is also good for the management or the CEO of the company to track what kind of tasks have been done already, or what should be done by the end of the month. So basically you can track all the deadlines, and you can see the chart of the task, what have been done, which employee haven't finished, for example, the task, or what kind of task has been finished already. And also they can access any application that was created with the Power Apps. So basically, this is a benefit for any company these days, because Power Apps don't require any like specific needs for a code. So basically, you don't need to be a programmer to set up an application, because it's basically created in principle low code, no code. So you don't have to be a specialist for it to say that. Okay, so it was actually a brief presentation about the first-line workers. I hope that this was helpful. If not everything was mentioned on this presentation, please contact me. And now we have a couple of minutes to make Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can write here in the chat or contact me through the email. My email is provided in the very beginning of the presentation. Also, I want to mention that those presentations will be sent out to you tomorrow after the event will finish. So basically, you will get all the information. This presentation will be also filled in with a couple of helpful links to where you can find like a bit wider descriptions of the Microsoft F plans, so you can read it out, or as I mentioned, you can contact me. My email actually is already in the chat. Thank you. So, okay, if there is no questions, then I want to thank you all to join the presentation. I hope that one more time it was helpful, and yeah, have a good rest of the day and take care.